So you've been waiting for this for years.
This is a dream come true for any UFO researcher. No matter where you land on the Roswell case, being out here and going to the actual presumed crash site is so exciting.
If the aliens come for you today, are you ready?
I'm ready. I've been ready since age 12. Yeah, so this is allegedly the crash site.
I think I hear something.
Oh, it must be Frank.
He said he's gonna bring his son today. Hey, Frank.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going?
Hey, pretty good.
Sheldon. So this is it, man?
This is where it happened, right here.
It is so desolate out here.
This place is kind of eerie because it's so quiet.
That's the feeling I got. I mean, Mac Brazel, his sheep, wouldn't come anywhere near this area that morning, am I right?
That is, matter of fact, the sheep wouldn't cross this area for, 6 months or a year? They would not even come into this area, and all the animals stayed away from it. What I believe happened here was an extraterrestrial craft came in, something caused them to lose control of their craft, and they crashed here. Right here is some of the places where I'd found the material, where it had washed down from the hill slopes and against the sides and all down into this sinkhole area, concentrated by the action of erosion.
This is where the runoff came down. So we're talking the impact site. How far would you say up this way that would be?
Okay, so the impact site started basically right at the base of that little hill right there, and it came down this way. It's the furrow, the gouge mark left by the object that was dragging across the ground.
You know, I was really skeptical when we first came out, and I expected to see a place where humans were and that you would see evidence of humans. You would see trash, but now that I've been out here, there's no trash. There's no proof that anybody's been out here, so it's really surprising that Frank found metal here.
You'll hear a sounds like this when you run across a piece of metal, and it'll find stuff that's really, really tiny.
Is it possible that over 70 years, something would be more than 3 feet down, something of that weight and material?
No. The material is very thin and very lightweight, and unlike gold or iron, it doesn't sink. It works its way to the surface.
This place is in the middle of nowhere. It's desolate, it's a wasteland. There's no reason for anything to be out here, yet we've found metal. I will say this, the universe is far too large for us to be the only intelligent species. It's entirely possible that something could have happened out here.
One thing that I repeatedly see in my research is a project called Project Mogul. It was actually a program that was highly classified at the time. So I've reached out to Alejandro Rojas. He's a journalist with a lot of experience researching UFOs. What can you tell me about Project Mogul?
Project Mogul was a top secret project that started in 1947 by the Army Air Force. They were sending microphones into the atmosphere using balloons similar to weather balloons so they could listen for seismic waves. And these waves gave them information about Soviet nuclear testing.
So is what we see in these photographs a Project Mogul balloon?
So what was found in Roswell is not what's in those images. Those images were a cover-up.
We were told that the Roswell Funeral Home was asked to bring 4 child-sized caskets to the airbase. What do you think about reports that bodies were found at the crash site?
The second report that they did on the Roswell incident claims that people saw bodies, but that these weren't aliens. They were crash test dummies that they were dropping out of airplanes. However, the project where they were dropping these dummies didn't happen until the late 50s, which is well after the Roswell incident, which we all know happened in 1947.
Why do you have to stage a photo op? Why do you have to do a report? Why do you have to give an explanation to something if there's really nothing going on?
I agree, and I think what's interesting and really credible is Marcel's testimony himself. Years later, when he talked to UFO researchers, he had felt that the truth would come out at some point, that what they found was not the balloon, it was not Mogul, it was something much, much more mysterious.
Has the US government been hiding evidence from the Roswell crash site since 1947? That's a claim now being made by eyewitnesses inside one of America's most secretive airfields, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio. Exclusive interviews bring never-before televised revelations when we update our original investigation at the end of the hour.
I said, well, tell me more. She said, they'll come and arrest me.
Frank has decided to let me get some of the pieces he found at the crash site analyzed, only because I'm bringing them here to Atlas Testing Labs. These guys should be able to tell us what we're possibly dealing with. Very nice to meet you. Thank you so much for doing this today. All right, this is how it was given to me, so I'm gonna hand that over.
Perfect, alrighty.
What do you think? What kind of tests are you gonna be doing with these?
So we'll be testing these for elemental composition. We're going to be running them for aluminum and for moly. Moly is short for molybdenum. And then we're also going to be running them against known aluminum standards, a 3000 series, to basically see if it corresponds with anything like that.
Okay, so we're looking at 2 tests.
Correct. So for the test, basically, we're going to have to cut your sample down to size, and then we're going to use acid to dissolve it and turn it into a solution. And then we're going to be able to run it through the ICP, and that is going to then give us whatever the elemental constituents are.
So when Major Jesse Marcel was flown to Fort Worth, he was asked to do a photo op with the remnants of what was discovered at the crash site. And in that photo op was Brigadier General Ramey holding a memo that we have yet to have deciphered. So I reached out to Ben Hansen. He is a forensic photo analyst and he previously worked for the FBI.
So Jennifer, as you know, this photo is one of the most iconic pieces of the Roswell puzzle. So as you can see up here, we have the original full photo. Take a look at the screen there. What we've done is we've flipped the whole photo 180. Okay, so you're looking down at it as if you were behind General Ramey's shoulder.
Right.
The second line, I think, is probably the most clear of everything we have in this message, and it's important.
That clearly has 2 letters. So given the context, that I can clearly see F-O-R-T.
Matching that.
Could possibly be an I, but it's not an I because it's Fort. It looks like Fort Worth. Comma. T-E-X.
They're in Fort Worth, Texas.
This is what I've been waiting for.
Okay, so 3 out of your 6 samples were not able to fully dissolve. And when they did dissolve, they basically broke down into some sort of organic-looking material that we are not able to run here at Atlas. We are, strictly a metals lab, and so we're not able to run the organics.
Correct me if I'm wrong, it had elements of metal or alloy or whatnot with an organic as well?
Yes, so it could have been a metal with some sort of film over it, or we definitely don't know.
All of our tests are complete. Ethan is in there right now, crunching the numbers, and soon we're finally gonna get our results.
Let's look at one other thing here. On the 3rd line down, okay, if you look right here. Now you may not be able to make out the exact words, but do you see any grammatical punctuation there? You don't see a comma, right?
No.
Look right here.
Is it an asterisk or a quotation?
Quotation marks.
Okay.
In our modern day, if you put something in quotations, and we do this all the time, right?
Right.
It's what we say when it's ambiguous what the message, like, it's kind of like, I don't really know what to call this. You put quotations around it. Okay, either you're quoting a person, okay, as a fact, this is what they called it,
Right.
or you're saying, I'm not quite sure. As we look now at the individual letters, I see 1, 2, 3,
I see
4.
it. I see it.
What do you see
I
in
see
that?
it. D-I-S, and it looks like it could be a C or a K. It's disc. I see it.
So one of my favorites If you take a look at this right here, what letter can you see there?
I mean, if I had to guess, I would say a V or a Y.
That's exactly what I was thinking. You really have two choices,
Right.
V or Y, okay? The one next to it.
I'm not in the business of guessing, so I
Okay.
have troubles with this. But if somebody said an I,
Okay, I would go with that as well. And as you go along here, we can see, let's say it's a V or a Y, we have an I, we can see individual letters that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6, I'm guessing. Would you go with that?
I would go with that. Gosh,
Do you see what it says?
it looks like it's home.